Whatever problems are going to show up a year, 2 years, 10 years, they were all there at the beginning. I just didn't want to look at them. I didn't want to see that. I thought we could make it work. Maybe you can. Somebody told me today, Sally told me today, that the latest statistic is that 70% of marriages aren't working out. I don't know, that sounds pretty awful. There's something that we're not wanting to see because we're believing in the trailer, the chemistry. This trailer looks like a person that would be a good romantic partner. Okay, that's fine. Let's see if there's any legs to it. But we don't do that. We think this one looks good. I'm going to make it work. Because we're told to make relationships work. So we think it's going to take work. And the work that we think it's going to take is not that kind of work. Those are the kinds of things that cannot be worked out because that's not the kind of work we're talking about. So to answer your question, the root of that was earlier. Okay, it was something that we chose not to see, didn't want to see, we wanted to make. I can remember a guy over 10 years ago, I can remember telling a friend of mine, this guy is got everything. We all know it's everything, right? He's handsome, he's rich, he's smart, he's blah, blah, blah. And so I was gonna make it work with him. And my girlfriend goes, you never cared about all that exterior stuff before. I'm like, yeah, but this guy seems like the one. You know what, we didn't even like each other, really, after 3 months. But that was the one I was gonna make it work with. I'm sure almost everyone has this story. I was gonna make it work with that guy. Thank God he was sane enough to go, I don't think so. Because it was hell. When the chemistry was, the chemistry was like any other drug. But the relationship didn't have any possibility, but I understood that that's what we do. We find someone who seems like the candidate and then we try to make it work. Even though if we didn't invest so much at the beginning, we'd be able to see, I could never be friends with this person. If you want to like hanging out with someone for 10, 20 years, and you want to have great sex with someone for 10 or 20 years, you better feel ultra friendly and held in warmth with them. And that takes a little while to find out. But we're basing it on, and I was basing it on, this looks like the romantic package. I can see myself with this person, I could make a fantasy about the future. But it has nothing to do with whether or not I enjoy sitting with this person in this present moment and if he enjoys sitting here with me. So in dating, we can focus on, how can I enjoy this present moment with this person more? Even if I don't end up marrying them, how could I enjoy this person more in this moment? And this is a skill. If I develop while I'm dating, guess what? I can use it for the rest of my relationship. I can be sitting across from Greg. How can I enjoy this moment with him more? I know he's doing that. How can we enjoy this? How can we enjoy this just sitting here being together more? When I practiced it on strangers, I was undercover practicing enjoying this man more in this present moment instead of going romantic fantasy, man, let me jump in, because those things always go bad. The idea was kindness is what's really important. Okay, that really stuck with me, a kind person. Now, how often do we hear kindness talked about in dating? I don't think I ever read it. Hot, money, dresses well, talks good, talks and squawks, picks up the check. How about kind? I would advise not investing a lot in a person that you don't know until at least 3 dates, because then you're going to start talking about things a little bit more. But I think some of you were talking about taking a walk or doing something like this, but not really getting into a lot of personal sharing prematurely, because then you're making an investment in a stranger. And then that's going to hit you later that I've gotten close to somebody I don't even know and may not even be a nice person. Okay? So in the dating world, we get too close to people before we even find out if they're a good person. So I don't want to make that whole investment sharing a lot of personal stuff with someone who I don't even know if they're trustworthy. This person might be insane. This person might be a sociopath. This person might be all kinds of things. I don't want to get into any kind of sharing relationship with a person until I know whether or not they deserve trust. So one of the things we learn is that it takes a while for someone to earn our trust. And it should. But what we do in the dating world is this person looks like this, so I'm going to trust them. They look, squawk, talk just like a romantic figure, so I'm going to trust them. You said that. Okay? And I'm suggesting that this is going to break our hearts because we have invested too much in someone before we even know if they deserve trust. And we'll talk more and more in ongoing talks in the dating class and so forth about how to establish trust. But it starts with not giving trust too early. Until you find out if a person is trustworthy. Showing up on time is one way you can start finding out if a person's trustworthy. Do they keep their word? It's miniature, but right there you've got, is this a person who keeps their word? I wouldn't trust them for much more than that, but right inside I'm going, okay. It's a person who at least keeps their word about time, but especially if you're going to entrust your heart to someone. You want that to be someone who is interested in holding your heart. You don't want to get a broken heart again. You can't choose anyone who's going to break your heart. That's up to you. Now we're going to get our hearts broken. People are going to die. Life's going to change, but in terms of, is this a person who's capable in and of themselves of breaking my heart, we can tell that actually right away. But we don't want to see it because we're invested in this bill of goods we've been sold.